What's up guys, Peter here from Reviews on Anything. Outdoors today, and excuse me for the shades and the cap, but it is one of the hottest days of the year here in Düsseldorf where I live. So instead of seeing me melt on camera, I thought I'd put this on to make it semi-bearable. And today we're talking about this little car. Now I drive a Skoda Superb, which is the largest model they own. And it's in the garage today, and they gave me this as the replacement car, the smallest car that they have. It's a SKODA Citigo with a 1.0 liter engine, and it's their sort of city car offering for getting around town, doing some shopping and so on. Definitely not suitable for the German autobahns. Here in Germany obviously the autobahns are a very big thing, and for that you need a car with a bit more punch and a bit more power, not to mention a bit more protection around you. But for the city this is a very suitable vehicle. And now I do bear in mind that this is a rent-a-car from Skoda itself, so it's what they give their customers, like in my case, for a day of service. So it is very bare. It has zero features whatsoever, but we're going to take a look around anyway. So this is going to be a short GoPro video of the Skoda Citigo. Alright, so we're looking at the Skoda Citigo, and as you can see it is a very tiny car. Now coincidentally it's parked behind a Peugeot 107, and if we zoom out a little you can see that it is effectively the same size car, both meant for in the city. Now this is the two-door version. It also comes in a four-door version like the Peugeot. Gives you a slightly more access to the rear, and we'll open the rear actually so you can see how little space there actually is inside. You know, there's a place for a shopping bag or two and a sports bag, as you can see here, but that's about it. And there are some rear seats that we'll get to in a second, but definitely not a place for long journeys. Now inside, like I already said, this is a car for people to use for 1 or 2 days maybe. So it is completely bare, completely featureless. Actually the key fob here is probably the most advanced thing in here. Nothing really to see here, just some blower controls and the radio. There's not even climate control, although obviously you can spec it up as much as you want. Manual gearbox, 5-speed and reverse. Steering wheel, typical Skoda, nothing on it. And you can see there is a tiny display there and just the speedo, and that's all you get. You get your warning lights on the side, but as long as they stay off, you know, you only got the speedo. The display has pretty much no information. It just has the temperature outside and the kilometers you've done. But surprisingly, it has a gear indicator that shows you in which gear you are and if you should shift up or not for maximum fuel efficiency. Which is a bit pointless in this car, I think, because it's, like I said, the 1 liter engine, so you know it's fuel efficient enough. By the way, that display is illegible. During the day you can hardly see it. At night obviously it's lit, so it's not too bad, but during the day you can hardly see it. This car does have electric windows, amazingly, but even those are very standard. You even have to hold it all the way up till the window's all the way up. So there's no, you know, click and then the window goes up all the way automatically. So, you know, pretty featureless. That said, there's quite a bit of storage, cup holders here, some things going on under the dash. No glove box, you know, this is all you get. So you got to keep your paperwork, you know, with you. Decent sized door bins, pretty basic speaker system, and as you can tell, like we already showed here in the rear, it is pretty tight. You know, you'll be able to fit some kids in here. There's even ISOFIX connection points. So, you know, you could put a baby seat back there when you put this seat all the way up, or all the way forward rather. But definitely for short journeys only. So that's the interior, you know, pretty small, pretty basic. This is very basic motoring just to get around town, like I already said. But it's very effective. So let's take it for a spin. Let's drive it back to the dealer and see how it drives and give you some impressions of how it is behind the wheel. Alright, so we're in the Skoda Citigo on the way back to the dealer to pick up my Skoda Superb. I got the windows down because obviously this doesn't have air conditioning, which is, by the way, an option you should definitely spec when you buy a car like this, I think. But to cool me a little bit, as you can see I'm sweating, I got the windows open, so hopefully you can hear me. Now we're driving it back to pick up my Skoda Superb, like I said, which is the biggest car of the range. It's positively enormous. Very nice to drive though. But in the city it is really out of place a little bit because parking garages are tight. Weaving through traffic can be a challenge. Now driving around in this with its compact dimensions is a whole different story compared to the Superb, because it's the smallest car they carry and it's super easy to thread through traffic. Parking garages are fantastic because you pretty much fit everywhere. Same thing with parking in the city. It's really in its element. sort of up to third, fourth gear in the city, up to 50-60 kilometers an hour, driving around. It's perfect. It really fits the urban environment, so to speak. Visibility around is awesome because, you know, they've got large windows, small pillars, and because the car is compact, you know exactly where everything ends. So when you're reversing back into something, you know where the window is, that's where the car ends, so that makes it very easy. Now obviously you want to know about the engine, which is a 1.0 liter petrol in this case. It's nothing to write home about. It's not a powerhouse or anything, obviously it isn't, because this car is meant for the city, but it's punchy enough for its role. Going through gaps in traffic, getting on roundabouts, taking turns, quickly overtaking somebody, no problem at all. It really feels at home, you know, second, third, fourth gear, and you'll be fine. You can actually leave it in third gear pretty much all the time you drive around in the city without any trouble. So it's punchy enough, responsive enough, you know, to feel comfortable within the city and don't feel like a slug sitting at a traffic light. That said, for German Autobahn traffic in particular, it is just not powerful enough. Getting on a highway in this car, getting up to speed, will take some time and will require you to look in your mirror several times before you can actually make it. And God forbid there's a truck coming along, then you really have to calculate on what you're doing. It's not meant for that purpose, I realize, but you know, when you're going in between cities, that might be semi-challenging at least. As long as you keep it in the city environment though, all is well. The engine does everything it needs to do, and you'll be happy with the performance there. And because it's such a small engine, obviously it's very fuel efficient, which is always nice for, you know, a car that you'll probably use as your second or third car, maybe even. And that, you know, it doesn't break the bank every time you have to go and fill it up. This is Peter from Reviews on Anything with a quick look and a quick drive in the Skoda Citigo. Personally, I like it a lot for what it is, but it doesn't fit in my life with a kid, with longer journeys and German Autobahn traffic. But in its the purpose that it's designed for, it's a perfectly fine car from the Volkswagen Group. So you know it's going to be a quality product as well. If you don't like the Skoda badge, you can certainly shop around within the Volkswagen Group for pretty much the same car with a different badge and maybe a bit more kit if you want to. But I think in this, you know, trim, very standard. Maybe add the air conditioning and you'll be very happy with your purchase for the years to come. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel, give this video a thumbs up. That really helps us a lot, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers!